Hello again. This is the fourth presentation that I have with you. I would like to talk about another book that you will find in your website, happinessyourhome.com. This book, I call it The University of Life. In fact, I wrote this book when I was at Arizona State University, when I was teaching there. In this book, I present a hypothesis. The hypothesis is that living on this planet is like going to a university, the University of Life. In that, every event in our life is a lesson. Every person we meet, be it for a long time, like parents, children, spouse, so forth, or people we meet for a very short time. They all are teachers. They are in our life to teach us the lessons that we need to learn. The University of Life is very much like ordinary universities. There is a founder, there is a president, there are faculty members, there are supporting staff. The University of Life has a campus, and so forth. The campus of the University of Life is the entire earth. The supporting staff of the University of Life are our natural resources. Every one of us is a student. At the same time, we are providing tutorial service for the others. So in a sense, every one of us has a dual role of teaching and studying. What do we study? I believe the main lessons that we learn, or the main areas of our education at the University of Life, are patience, to acquire more patience, to accept people as what they are, rather than expecting them to be how we like them to be, having trust in the universe that it will provide for us what we need, of course, based on our efforts and struggle and planning and so forth, and accepting whatever is coming to us. So I believe every event in our life contains a lesson for us to master in these areas. What would happen after we learn all these lessons? We will graduate from the University of Life, and we do not need to come back to it as a student any longer, except maybe as a visiting professor. The visiting professors at the University of Life are like prophets, sages, holy people, and so forth. They have graduated from the University of Life, but upon the decision of the university master, they come as a visiting professor with the mission of teaching either few people or even one person or a group of people how best to study in the University of Life. Of course, in the University of Life, we have academic years, just like in regular universities we have academic years. The founder of the University of Life and the president of the University of Life is God. He has designed the University of Life. He has designed everything for us. He has designed through a very precise program of what we need to study and who is going to teach us. Of course, after 1 year, one academic year that we conclude in the University of Life, we go on summer vacation, and during the summer vacation we decide about our program for next academic year, and when we come back we study the courses or we learn the lessons that we have intended, we have chosen to learn. Therefore, with this acceptance of the University of Life, I tend to accept whatever is happening to me as having lessons. There is a purpose for them, for happening to me. I keep on asking, what are the lessons I need to learn from this event? What are the things which I need to do to learn my lessons more effectively and more happily? I wrote the book, The University of Life, before I wrote the book, Love to be Happy. I mentioned that when I first visited Sai Baba, Sri Satya Sai Baba in Bangalore, in Bhutta Party where he was, I presented a copy of this book to him. He took the book and glanced at it and said, good book. And he mentioned unity in diversity, meaning that while there's a diversity in the world, but there is a unity behind it. And that unity is the fact that we all are effects, pictures, or symbols of God. So there is a unity in the world that each one of us presents a unique picture of God as a supreme president or head of the university, as the founder of the University of Life, as the one who is running the entire universe. With this belief system, I become more relaxed, accepting that there is nothing wrong in the world. Every event has a lesson. So what I need to graduate faster or sooner from the University of Life is to, again, render the most effective service, help the other students to study their lessons at the University of Life more effectively. I have observed many events in my life. I have shared them in the book, The University of Life. For example, many years ago, a colleague of mine at the university came. After half an hour, his wife called that come back home, our newborn baby of 4 months, 6 months old, has gone blind. He rushed home, saw the baby, of course, being blind and having no response to movement and so forth. The baby was all right the night before, but when she woke up in the morning, the mother noticed that she cannot see or she doesn't respond to any movement. They took her to a hospital, they examined her eyes, they could not find what is wrong with it. And then they took her to another doctor, another specialist. Finally, they went out to Europe and then saw many experts, many doctors there. They could not find what the problem was, and finally they ended up visiting a professor at Johns Hopkins University, where everybody had recommended him as to be the person who is knowledgeable about the issue. He examined the baby's eyes a number of days and told the parents, frankly, I cannot find what's wrong with the baby's eyes, what caused it, and therefore I cannot suggest any cure or treatment for the baby. So you better go back home, hope for the best. Amazing, they came back home very depressed. Of course, you can visualize any parents with a baby, with their babies now about 10, 12 months old, after all these trips that she had taken throughout Europe and many places throughout the world. Now the parents were very upset, very unhappy about the situation. We at the community and his colleagues were also very sorry about the situation. But amazing, there was a prediction made that the baby's eyes will be all right in about 2 weeks. That's a very unique prediction. I'll share that in the book. I invite you to read the book. And sure enough, in 2 weeks' time, the baby's eyes start responding to the movement and to light and so forth. The baby could see again. When I witnessed such an event, I asked myself, what happened? Why did the baby go blind? Why the doctors, the specialists could not do anything? But a holy person, in fact a poet, could predict that the baby's eyes would be all right. What was going on? What was the purpose of all this thing? This event which took about a few months, what was it for us to learn and what was it for the parents to learn? I believe all of these had lessons. I have shared them in the book. I invite you to read the book, The University of Life. That all of us are students, at the same time we are teachers. So we accept whatever is happening to us as the event includes lessons for us to learn, and we need to learn them well. How can we speed up our graduation from the University of Life? We need to render the most effective service along with unconditional love to those who need it most. Okay, I'd like to conclude my fourth presentation here with you, hoping that you will be happy and you will be able to accept the events in your life as lessons of the University of Life that you need to learn. In fact, according to the University of Life, we choose our lessons. We choose our teachers to teach us what we need to learn so that we can progress faster and we can become happier sooner. I hope that all people throughout the world are happy, and I hope every being in the world is happy. Thank you very much, and see you later.